I have trash talk.
But Gator fan Mike Bell admits he was caught off guard at the lengths that some Texas A&M fans went in order to deliver their message. A solid 672 square feet.
I'm entertained.
The billboard isn't in College Station, Texas. It was planted in the heart of Gator Nation. It claims Texas A&M has the best academics and the cleanest program in the SEC.
I don't agree with it. This is Gator Nation, so it's kind of disrespectful. But it's okay. We'll show them Saturday what's up. SEC, baby.
According to U.S. News and World Report, the Aggies and the Gators are actually tied for 58th in national university rankings. Numbers that are reported on everything from tuition to graduation rates. As far as being the cleanest program,
you know, A&M is a big old school, and they've got kids that make mistakes, and they've got kids who don't go to class, and they got kids who get arrested just like everybody else. But right now, they're the new kid on the block. None of us knows their history and their track record.
The billboard was posted over the opening game day weekend, but at first it didn't create much of a buzz.
Just drove by there about 20 minutes ago, and it's no longer there.
Already gone. Oh, man, that was quick.
Already. Houston media company representing a group called Aggie Nation bought the billboard, and the Clear Channel said they were going to take it down.
And in almost as much time as it took to post the billboard for all of Gainesville to see, it was removed and replaced with an advertisement for its owner. But the message that it represents still remains alive online as a major talking point in preparation for this weekend's game. Jason Cook of Texas A&M's Communications Department tweets they didn't place the billboard. Even so, for the sake of good fun, Patel gives them points for creativity.
That's an 8.5, no doubt, 8.5. The only thing that would be better would be have some photos of former Gators who've been in trouble. But yeah, 8.5, good effort on their part.
You know, the first weather report, this thing was going to Texas. We woke up Sunday morning, and I guess they wanted to come to Cedar Key.
Volunteer firefighter Ken McCain says that the heavy rain that started to sweep through the area Sunday morning was as welcome as any other guest that visits Cedar Key.
We welcome anybody, so.
Tropical storm Debbie, though, is one guest that came with a little more baggage than usual. Some people have been enjoying the effects Debbie has had on the tides.
It's just refreshing, and it's God's way of refreshing the earth.
At high tide in Cedar Key, streets are blocked off to protect the public. Wind gusts associated with Debbie are what residents say is creating higher tides than usual.
The direction of the wind is blowing the water in. It's kind of like a tidal surge. So that's causing the extreme high water.
It's also causing problems along Cedar Key Pier, where roads aren't the only things in danger of being washed out. But from what you can see next to me, salt water is washing along the pavement and sidewalk and washing away the shoreline here at the pier. Just hours ago, from what I understand, this dock was fully secure. Now, it's just rubble. Diana Topping was willing to brave the dangerous roadways to check in on her aircraft, hoping that it didn't meet the same fate of some of the other planes at Cedar Key Airport.
I'm hoping that the ropes are holding on the aircraft that we have tied down out there.
Hoping and praying for some sunshine after the rain.
Yeah, we need the water, but when you ask for one thing, you might get something else with it. So.
It was very low. Well, now it's maxed out.
High Springs residents like Henry Mogler have watched the water levels of the Santa Fe increase dramatically in a matter of days, completely changing landscapes they were once familiar with.
Because the water level's been rising on an average about 3 inches per hour. So if you do the math, it was bound to come in the house.
Homeowners here along the Santa Fe River in High Springs have been hoping for increased rain levels for a while. But now, after this past weekend, not only is the Santa Fe River knocking on their front doors, it's breaking and entering. Now that the Santa Fe has made a home in his yard, Mogler can only access the property with a canoe. The access road to the house is quickly going under as well. Just upstream in Fort White, the Santa Fe River is expected to reach approximately 11 feet above flood level this weekend. 32 miles of the Santa Fe River have been declared a no-wake zone and will remain so until floodwaters recede. Mogler's flooding problem not only affects him, but his pockets as well.
It's unfortunate because first of all, we're hurting people who had rented the property for vacations and had planned months in advance.
All day, people have stopped to watch the Santa Fe River, and some say the recent surge affects everyone differently. Fort White resident Neil Wingfield says with traffic being a problem already, he's worried about his commute.
That it's going to go over the bridge and we're not going to be able to drive across here. We're going to have to make a long trip around to make it to Gainesville.
A sudden change for a river that's been low for a while.
So low that you could, up by 441, the bridge at 441, you could walk across.
Some are making the most of the opportunity the river is presenting, while others, like Mogler, are watching and waiting to rebuild.
It will definitely be back and open and bigger and better than it was before. It'll, in some aspects, it's a good cleansing.
I don't know that the people in Libya know what happened here in Gainesville, but obviously these type of issues are inflammatory.
Gainesville resident Terry Shimoleski is referring to provocative actions by Pastor Terry Jones. Chris Stevens, the U.S. ambassador to Libya, and 3 other Americans were killed in an attack that may be tied to a controversial film called The Innocence of Muslims. Gainesville pastor Terry Jones has openly supported the production and its producers. News of the deaths of Americans overseas shows that U.S. international relations with the Muslim community haven't been improving, and displays like the one behind me, produced by the Dove World Outreach Center and Pastor Terry Jones, haven't been helping. Tuesday night, Jones hosted an International Judge Muhammad Day at the church, an event that involved what Jones describes as exposing the lies of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, and the Quran.
Sometimes a soft voice and diplomacy is the right way, but sometimes you have to raise your voice. Sometimes you have to get into somebody's face. Sometimes they have to see that you really, really mean it before you get results.
Results that some political thinkers say are creating more harm than good.
Some groups feel as though objects take on a kind of a sacred essence. So the flag, for many people, is not just a piece of cloth. It becomes almost a religious relic. The Bible and the Quran, similarly. And sometimes people will commit sacrilege as a form of political statement or as a form of attacking their opponents. And it's a very powerful thing to do. It's a very good way to make your opponent so angry that they become very powerful and come to defeat you.
The displays on Jones's property are in clear view of the public, but something that neighbors try not to notice.
Now it's something I see and I don't like, but I ignore it.